Now, I want us to be very smart on this, some of these issues. We are Pan-Africans. We are not supposed to debate like these average social media excited
commentators.
Real commentators. Because when we have this kind of debate, anybody watching us, and we are not debating for ordinary minds.
No.
Because the ordinary mind is not going to understand some of these things.
When you
must go back and read, you must go back and intercourse with high-level literature, you must listen and associate yourself with people who matter.
Actually, Comrade Rugamba, let me help you. When you go back and watch all our previous videos on YouTube channel and on NBS TV, and all our following, it's a clear cut. The audience, my target audience is not the usual commentator, the usual person talking.
They will really not go there to watch you. Anyway.
Exactly.
And if they did, by accident, they will put a comment, these are crazy people. So therefore...
my target audience is completely different. That's why even I'm not bothered about the views.
At 78,000 per time, you think they will
They are simply going to loot it. They are simply going to loot it.
Let me tell you what they want to do. All these minerals that we have listed down here, they want to create circumstances in Nigeria where they come as a messiah, and then they create a completely imbalanced kind of arrangement where they can siphon. The traders, the American businessmen, will come and extract all these mineral resources. They want to put a pass for France, whereby they put a very serious base in Nigeria, and they oversee the growing Pan-Africanism in the Sahel region of the Ibrahim Traores, such that they can reintroduce, create choreograph and create a situation whereby, if possible, they remove regimes in Niger, regimes in Mali, such that they restore the old sycophants who do not understand what it means to be totally independent, and they go back and capture the so-called trade and extraction, bring back their companies to mine the lithium and other rare earth minerals, and take it the way they used to take it back to France, who is their cousin, looting just.
Free your mind now. Be part of the People's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
The Pan-African Pyramid Weekly Round Table, or Weekly Roundup, with your speaker, Emperor Andrew Irumba Katusabe. This is the Pan-African Pyramid Show, and our usual comrades here, our seniors here, are always here, right here with you. I will begin with my left, Comrade Daniel Garama Karuchiko, a senior lawyer, international civil rights lawyer, chairman of the Pan-African Movement Uganda chapter. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, brother, and a very good morning, or better still, salutations to all our esteemed viewers, because I recognize the fact that we are in different time zones.
And on my right is Professor Alenyo George William. Professor Alenyo George William is also an international civil rights lawyer. He's an author, he's a writer. He's a former legal assistant to the former Chief Justice of Uganda and the former Attorney General of Uganda. His name was Chief Justice Bart Katurebe. He's his former legal aid assistant, legal assistant. Welcome, sir. Professor, I will begin with you. Apart from what we're going to talk about, is there something that caught your attention over the last week in the Pan-African context around the globe?
I think two things. Can't be far from what we are going to talk about, because we always talk about things that concerns Africa most in that very week. I think to leave the topic a bit is the total collapse of the democracy. The adopted neo-colonial democratic principles in Zimbabwe, when the parliament has resolved to cancel direct presidential universal suffrage.
In Zimbabwe,
Yes.
where our elder senior Joshua Maponga comes from.
Exactly.
What are they doing? Repeat that.
The 83-year-old president, Mnangagwa.
Mnangagwa.
Yeah.
The crocodile.
The crocodile.
What has he done?
He has, the parliament, under his influence, has abolished the 5-year term for the 7-year term, which is coming to Ghana.
It's just coming to Ghana. They have predicted already.
No, it is a bit discussed already. He has also proposed to end the universal suffrage, so that election of the president is by parliament.
Hey, universal suffrage, you mean the poor people, the citizens of the country, no longer have the right to elect.
Elect their
It
president.
is their MPs that will elect in the parliament.
Yes,
Isn't that exactly what is coming to Kampala?
exactly. Coming to Kampala.
That's
As
what
you
is
say.
coming to Kampala. This,
Yes.
this next step,
Yes.
this parliament coming, the primary objective that they're going to handle is that one.
Exactly. So that is the end of democracy on the African continent. Because there are countries like in Britain. When you go to Britain, by the way, I was in Britain for my master's.
Yes, you
And,
did your master from Britain.
yes, and one time I was telling a person we were working with, I told him, tomorrow I can't talk to my people because it is Independence Day. He said, oh, you're very lucky. You have got your independence. But with the Scottish people, we have not yet got independence.
Hey,
Yes, he told me that. So, people think that the system pertaining in Britain, where the parliament elects, is democratic. It is not. Because the Irish are oppressed, the Scottish are oppressed by the English.
in Britain.
Yes, in the United Kingdom. So it is funny that Africa is going backwards, rolling back. We had universal presidential opportunity to elect a leader. It's now being rolled back.
So now, Zimbabwe, initially they were blaming Mugabe that he was a dictator. But during Mugabe's thing, all the people had the right to vote. Isn't it?
Exactly.
Now, the dictator is gone, the democratic man is in the chair now, your right is being even further suppressed.
Father suppressed.
So it means better the devil you know than the one you, than the angel you don't.
Exactly. So to me that is the thing. And
But people are saying Mugabe is a dictator, but the dictator gave you the right to vote.
yes.
Now the
This right
angel
is
who
now
has
being
come.
rolled back. It's a sad moment for Africa. It's a sad moment for Africa. And this calls for us to get an African way of electing our leaders. We are going to have to get an African way of how we can elect our leaders.
The African model of democracy.
Exactly.
I have been a champion of that do we need to copy what Europe and America are doing for us to say this is democracy?
For example,
If
Right Honorable Speaker, you see, the Americans have a 4-year term electing a president. Every 4 years, the nation of USA goes through a very rigorous, a very expensive exercise that leaves them financially crippled, leaves the parties crippled, leaves the politicians crippled, leaves the nation crippled. That's why you find every year America is struggling. Shut down, shut down. Look at China. The election is every 10 years, 1 decade. Yes, the
presidential election is 10 years.
10 years. They give the
leader 10 years.
leader 10 years. And the election is so simple. Yes, exactly.
10 years.
10
You know
years.
what I mean in China?
Thank you for reminding me because I was thinking about that.
The Pan-African movement has got observer status in China until some crazy people, you know how we are here, interfered with that. But that's a debate for another day.
Yes.
So we are aware of
But I'm happy
Oh,
with that information. You see, when you elect the LC1 chairperson, elect him for a decade. Parish chairman, elect him for a decade. LC3, elect him for a decade. MP, elect him for a decade. LC5, elect him for a decade. President, elect him for a decade. And that's why America can never catch up with China. China uses all its resources for development.
I thought it is China running after America. In terms
No,
of
it is
profit.
America running after China. It is now common knowledge that the leading economy is China.
Not
The-
America.
No, in practical terms.
China talk about America. It is America
Talking about
China
Israel.
at that time. Why should a strong man talk?
You know, when someone is talking about you, it means you are the one, you are the issue, not him. When you go to the village, all the villagers are talking about you.
Use your
But
power.
it is you winning. Eh? But do you have time to talk about the village? But it is the villagers talking about you.
Don't even know that you
your
exist.
house, your what. So the person talking about the other is America, is talking about China. Let me tell you, China is the leading economy of the world. But there is a system that does not want to accept that. So now,
That's point number one.
yes, it is right on the spot. And it is coming to Uganda. And I want to caution the president of the NRM party, who is our president, whom I actually voted.
You voted him.
Yes, that this thing of copycatting is dangerous, especially by a Pan-Africanist like him. You don't want to propose that Manya Parliament must extend the term from 5 to 7. Why 7?
Hey,
Just because France also said 7, Zimbabwe said 7, go for 10.
Hey,
Go for the decade, not so? But you just want to copycat. That's it. You don't want 5, you don't want 10, you want in the middle. What is there? You remember when these elections were coming, as Pan-Africans, we had said don't even hold the elections. That was our opinion. Find a referendum, let people endorse the candidate. But what has these elections done for us? Nothing.
They have
It has
stolen
done
more money. They have
nothing.
done. Actually, they have left the country more crippled
More crippled.
and more
Political, social,
undemocratic.
And more democratic.
Because
these elections
right
should
now
be
they are youth, they are young people who belong to a different political party with a different opinion. They enjoy. Not because they have committed any crime, but because they don't agree with you.
Right, Hannibal.
No.
I'm not entered the topic.
Oh, okay.
But because it's so interesting.
It is because those people, if we had not held the election, those people would be out and about
Yes.
doing their work.
Yes.
And you are the president.
Yes.
Anyway, let me
Let us enter into it and then you bring that topic.
Comrade Garama, this was just by the way. I always want to pick 1-2 issues. I don't want to always to be the one to bring what you are supposed to discuss, but we are a team. All of you have something to discuss. So let me hear from you. What caught your attention for the whole of last week? Professor Lenyo was in Zimbabwe. That's what has caught his attention. What has caught your attention?
I would not want to go far away from what my senior brother has just presented on. I will simply state that one of the tragedies of Africa is inheriting a corrupted, archaic, unwanted, unsuitable, democratic, so-called democratic political dispensation of the former colonial master transplanted to us without any refinement of any nature at all. What therefore Professor Alenyo has been talking about and you echoed it in Zimbabwe is not new. We have got what we call the presidentialism kind of democracy. We also have got the parliamentary kind of democracy on the African continent. In a country like Somalia, for instance, is parliamentary kind of election. It's parliament that elects the president. Now, you may have issues with that, but at the same time, we have issues with the presidentialism that under the suffrage, the people who may not, and no pun intended, because majority of our people actually the uneducated lot. And that doesn't mean that they are stupid, but they have simply not gotten exposed to the white man's kind of education system. And just because for us we have been there, we cannot claim to be better. Nevertheless, the uneducated bulk of our people have got one problem, that they may not know actually how government works. Now when that happens, their choices at the ballot box sometimes are not properly informed with what is obtaining in the country.
Exactly.
Now that is a tragedy.
Yes.
It's a tragedy in the sense that the choices are going to impact so much internal, external foreign policies of the country, and yet the decisions that are going to be taken by the people that have been chosen at the ballot box the people chosen may not necessarily be the most qualified to take those decisions. Now that's a very wide debate, and I don't want to go there. I told you at the commencement of this debate that you have got a very big challenge, remember. When you bring us here, there is so much that is disturbing Africa and the black man's world that anything small that you prop up, we are bound, you give me a word, I will give you an entire textbook. So in order not to run the risk of talking forever, I will tell you that whereas I may not have necessarily have problems with whether it is presidentialism or parliamentarism, the whole pack of the kind of political democracy dispensation that we have, whether it is multipartyism, whether it is whatever ism, is foreign to Africa. And the day we sit down to do a rethink of what we need as a continent, politically speaking and otherwise, is the day, before we do that, we shall continue to suffer political malfunctionism, which we are suffering because indeed we are doing a lot of copy and paste. In my opinion, therefore, what I see as the most challenging in this whole political structure on the African continent is not the form. Form, we can discuss it. For me, it is the substance. What is done within presidentialism kind of democracy, of electing a president, or for instance, what is done under parliamentary, if the idea is that you use a small people called the parliamentarians, who themselves don't even qualify to be in that parliament, so to say, you will forgive my choice of words. Sometimes in explaining some of these issues, I'm not the very first one. My own teacher, senior counsel, Sabane Yusuf, said that majority of the parliamentarians that have been elected in Uganda, especially, if it is out of 100%, he says 78 do not qualify even to be LC3 councillors. That was not me. Some Uganda, and you may take it because they have lost and therefore they are celebrating. I don't think so. I think they are really speaking from the heart. Ibrahim Semjunganda, who lost Chiramu Musbarde, has been at it several times. Therefore, for me, my worry is that whether it is the Wananchi down there are the ones who are electing the president, whether it is the people that have been elected as parliamentarians who will come to the other house and vote for the president, to me, that may not be so much of a problem. What is my problem is that whatever system you call it, because like they say, a rose flower, even after being called by another name, will still smell the same. In that very context, therefore, whether you want to call it parliamentary, that it has been adopted by Zimbabwe, whether you want to call it presidentialism, like we have it in Uganda, at the end of the day, what is that system going to produce for the Wananchi, socially, economically, and politically? If the results are as good as were intended by the person who handed to us those two forms of the so-called democracy, then we are not doing anything helpful to the population.
Very good. Now, let's move to the main topic. Whom should I begin with? Should I begin with Professor Lane? Professor, I begin with Comrade Lugarama. Comrade Lugarama, on Christmas Eve, America attacked Nigeria. Although Tinubu downplayed and said, no, we are cooperating, but it's very clear that America used its force, entered into Nigeria, and they killed those that they wanted to kill to show that they are helping the government, but actually their main target is the resources. Now, Tinubu has been downplaying it, because when you look at the age of Tinubu, when you look at him physically, what can he do to America? You just have to pretend like whatever is happening in Nigeria, alongside America, they are agreeing that they have an arrangement. Now, 2 days ago, America has sent 200 troops to train the Nigerian forces, train on how to handle the rebel groups there, the insurgents are there. 200 troops going to Nigeria to train. So all the years Nigeria has been independent, they don't have enough training to deal with the insurgents there. So the rebel groups have better capabilities in causing havoc, and Nigeria has no capacity to deal with them. So who trained the rebels? If they are better equipped, better knowledgeable on how to cause havoc.
Exactly.
One of the other problems of Africa, as was clearly pointed out by, and it was adopted by the peer review committee of the African Union, is contained in the paper presented by Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, titled the 11 bottlenecks to Africa's development. In there, he talks about the failing political ideology of the African leaders. Says majority of the African leaders do not have a clue on where they should be taking their respective countries and people in the next 5, 10, the short term, medium term, and long term strategies. I agree. What we have is that we are riding on populism. On the African continent, populism, and we are not alone, but since we are talking about Nigeria, which is the leading economy on the African continent, and is supposed to be providing leadership to the rest of us, it's very important to appreciate what we mean by ideological character. We are talking about Nigeria is a $500 billion economy. That shouldn't impress me, because some states in United States of America, they have that kind of money.
Just one state.
Yes. And note that Nigeria does not have capacity, because that's where we're going, that it should be a $500 billion economy. We should be talking about $1 trillion dollar economy in Nigeria, if we must be looking at it as the largest economy on the African continent. The leadership of Africa, largely speaking, has been compromised. The crop of leaders who organically rose and they had the African challenges at heart, the likes of Soko Ture, the likes of Amilcar Cabral,
Amilcar Cabral,
the likes of Thomas Sankara, Patrice Lumumba, Ben Bella, Abdul Gabar, Kwame Nkrumah, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere. That breed of leaders were systematically eliminated because had they stayed as they were moving to the 1963 Organization of African Union conference in Addis, the chances that they were going to train and give birth to probably even a more sharpened, ideologically clear leaders was very high. When that failed, those who replaced them, likes of in DRC,
Mobutu Sese Seko was a bank.
Seko replacing Patrice
He
Lumumba.
kept all his wealth in France.
You look at
And when he died, they took
Jomo
everything.
in Ghana itself, you look at the Abdul Gamar's replacement. All of them were designed to cut short the progresses that had been made by that group that the colonialists, the former colonial master, was not comfortable with. And that's important, Comrade Lumumba, for me to mention it in order for us to get the background to this problem. Therefore, it means that we didn't heal from what we would have healed from that was established by the colonial master. The hangover, the structures which would have been dismantled systematically were not dismantled. We were left with the arrangement, the educational arrangement, the economic arrangement, by our economies being appendages of the colonial master's economy. And when that happened, even the early 1980s, when we had majority African countries, like Nigeria, South Africa, the whole lot of Central African Republic, Central African countries, who had become export-led economies because of the Bretton Woods institutions policies, the IMF and the World Bank, they ended up becoming import-led economies. That they were no longer supposed to produce for the outside markets, but they could only thrive because they were told so by IMF to receive what was produced and for them simply to pay back. Therefore, Nigeria is not an isolated case. But using Nigeria as our case study here, you are going to realize that Nigeria is mineral rich, extremely mineral rich. As I talk to you now, what the United States of America is actually targeting are one of the most expensive and lacking rare earth minerals for the use in planes, airspace locomotives like the satellites, automobile industry. We have got, I was listing here, there is, for instance, a rare earth mineral called lithium. Lithium. A ton of lithium now is $78,000.
That's my time.
US.
Yes. Lithium. There is another product called rhodium, and that is why that is most found in South Africa. Now, rhodium is the world leading producer of rhodium is actually South Africa, and that is why Trump, through Elon Musk, they want to bring the leadership of the president ANC now Ramaphosa. They want to bring that leadership, and they don't want to hear anything like Julius Malema because they know that he's talking about he is another Maduro. If they cannot have Julius Malema quit the politics of South Africa, then they would either have him incarcerated
or killed.
And that is why he's having the kind of problems that he's having. Now, I want us to be very smart on this, some of these issues. We are Pan-Africanists. We are not supposed to debate like these average social media
commentators.
Excited
Commentators.
Real commentators. Because when we have this kind of debate, anybody watching us, and we are not debating for ordinary minds.
No.
Because the ordinary mind is not going to understand some of these things.
When you
must go back and read, you must go back and intercourse with high-level literature, you must listen and associate yourself with people who matter.
Actually, Comrade Rugama, let me help you. When you go back and watch all our previous videos on YouTube channel and on NBS TV, and all our following, it's a clear cut. The audience, my target audience is not the usual commentator, the usual person
They
talking.
will really not go there to watch you. Anyway.
Exactly.
And if they did, by accident, they will put a comment, these are crazy people. So therefore,
my target audience is completely different. That's why even I'm not bothered about the views, the difference in the views. You find somebody who has abused the head of state has 100,000 views in one day.
the rakes.
Yes, right. So, and then these Americans, the people who handle the Google, so the engine, the search engine, there is a way they manipulate.
They will make sure that ours, for instance, is not doesn't get exposed.
If
to
you
majority of the people.
if you go and promote LGBTQ, for example, and you talk about them in a nice way, in 1 hour you will have 500,000 views. Then you who has castigated it, even in a year, you cannot get it. When you enter inside what they call the professional dashboard, me I always go there, you find that the views inside that the public does not see are more than what the public is seeing. When you go to the professional dashboard, that's why I'm no longer bothered. The people who say Africans are dictators, they're actually more dictators 10 times.
So you see, we have got to appreciate. I thank you, Speaker, for that information. Therefore, what I'm trying to share with what I'm trying to share with the public is that we have got we have got these challenges. When you have got rhodium in South Africa, and rhodium in South Africa is one rare earth mineral that is produced, the global output, 80% is controlled by South Africa. You cannot have South Africa in peace. The ANC, the original party that fought for the liberation of the country, is going to be forced to share power with DA, which is an imperial oriented political party for purposes of controlling the resources of South Africa.
They share.
Absolutely, that's how they form the government.
Yes.
In Nigeria, we have got other rare earth minerals like ballates, we have got gypsum, we have got choline, and we have got marble. All these are important for the hungry industrial sector in the global West, mainly United States of America. And they are found, majority of them are actually found in Nigeria. We have got mosaic, this monazite and silicon. Then there is elmite, This is also in automobiles. All these minerals I'm talking about, they are found in Nigeria.
Automobile.
And yes, in the automobile sector, in space engineering, this is what we're talking about. I want the public to have that background in mind. That is how we can only intelligently debate this, discuss this subject, and debate amongst ourselves. But most importantly, there is now a the world's most expensive now mineral. It is called the carbonium. Carbonium is the most expensive, and a gram, just a mere gram of carbonium, which is in aeronautics. We use it in aeronautics, in part of phone and what have you, airspace, and what we call zooms. What is that? If you can put it in English, a gram. We are talking about a gram. You know a gram?
1 gram.
You know how many grams?
In a half kilo there is 500 grams.
Then
So in
1,000
a kilo is 1,000 grams. So you're saying 1 gram
is 27 million.
million per gram.
I would
So first wait, 27 million US dollars.
Yes.
1 gram.
A gram.
27 million US dollars.
Piti umba wabashinyowa kuntama. I'm telling you, this is it. What's it?
1 kilo is a lot of money.
No, he's saying 1 gram.
Gram.
I mean, then 1 kilo is a lot of money.
And this is also in Nigeria. Therefore,
So that's why America is going there to train.
I'm coming. Therefore, there is no problem called rebel activity, be it the who are these
Boko Haram.
Boko Haram. There is nothing like civil uprising in the streets.
Then there was this one that Christians are being killed, and Trump came to help Christians. He loves Christians so much in Nigeria.
Trump also is saying that the whites are being targeted in South Africa, and therefore it needs his presence. He goes ahead to say that Julius Malema is one such a Hitler that he should be caged away because he threatened to kill the Boers. He goes ahead to say, and that is under the advice of Elon Musk, who has got some business connections in South Africa, and who is also aware of these minerals, where, of course, you know that Elon Musk is also involved in some space internet kind of production. Therefore, I want to tell the public that we do not have organic dissatisfaction of the people of Nigeria against their government. What we have are a rebirth of the, if you like, you remember in the 1960s when we had the uprising of one of the tribes in
Kenya.
in Nigeria. The Igbo tribe in Nigeria. You know, during colonialism, the Igbos are the ones who were exposed to the white man's education system. They groomed them as a special breed, and they saw themselves, and this is what
They saw themselves as superior than others.
Absolutely. And the white man achieved this very much on the African continent. That wherever you go, be it in Cameroon, be it here in Uganda, there were sections where, for instance, they would create the people that these ones are the ones suitable for the police, for the army, and these ones cannot manage. Now all these are fancies, and they have been, since they have been
Demystified.
Debunked.
Debunked.
Now, I
Same
want
as
to tell you,
demystified.
yes, absolutely. I want to tell you, therefore, that what is happening in Nigeria, and it has not just started. There has been systematic and CIA intelligence-led discussions around subdividing Nigeria into
Four countries.
yes, into 4 countries. They say it is too big, it should be subdivided into 4 countries.
They want
The
to do
same
it, they did
thing-
Sudan.
The same thing as DRC
And Congo.
and what they did in Sudan.
Mm.
The reason as why Sudan, for instance, is experiencing what it is
And Somalia.
is because they looked at the southern part and they said since the oil wells, majority of them fall in the southern Sudan, then they can create that country and they are going to have a monopoly over that natural resource. What therefore the president did, the current president did, was not to toe. He didn't toe the line, and he started bringing in the Chinese, and that is why South Sudan is in the kind of turmoil it is in now. The same thing has been happening to Nigeria. Nigeria, they have been propping up these rebel outfits. Boko Haram. The Boko Haram comes in a day. Trump was not just bombing aimlessly. They have got satellite capabilities to know, and these so-called rebel outfits have got phones which they supply, satellite phones. So they know where these rebels are. They know what they are doing. They even tap them because they communicate. So they exactly, you see, you can't trust these Americans. Why? We have it on good record that they created Al-Qaeda, and whoever Al-Qaeda has operated, they created power. We know it, we have it on good record that they are the ones who created, for instance, what they call the Hamas in
Israel.
Palestine. They are the ones who created it. We know for a fact that they are the ones who created the conflict between Iran and Iraq, and they started supplying them with different arms until they started fighting to near death. At the end of the day, we know that they created, for instance, Pinochet in Chile, and later on, when he was no longer useful, they killed him. We know they created Noriega, and when he was no longer useful, they came and extracted him,
Jacob de Carlos.
All these,
Remember Jacob?
all these.
They trained the Jacob.
Yes.
The Carlos. Now, after some time, when he was no longer
Useful. And that's what they
we
did.
have killed the most dangerous man in the world. But who trained that most dangerous man in the
Who
world?
created him in the first place? Therefore, I want to conclude here.
Even Commander Mashoud
Yes,
in Afghanistan.
absolutely. So I want to conclude here.
Because
Mr.
conclude you
Speaker,
must, my elder.
that there is nothing like internally, organically organized resistance against the people of Nigeria and the leadership. The people of Nigeria and the Nigerian leadership, which, for lack of better words, but forget about the advanced age of Tinubu. The entire apparatus is compromised by the non-suspecting leadership of Nigeria, and it is being the inside job is being done by the CIA and other intelligence organizations globally. Reason being that they have looked at all these mineral resources, and they know there is no way you can extract, and you need this routing. They don't want to trade. How much is America going to give? You think America is going to buy lithium at 78,000 per ton? You think they will do
They are
that?
simply going to loot it. They are simply going to loot it.
Let me tell you what they want to do. All these minerals that we have listed down here, they want to create circumstances in Nigeria where they come as a messiah, and then they create a completely imbalanced kind of arrangement where they can siphon. The traders, the American businessmen, will come and extract all these mineral resources. They want to put a pass for France, whereby they put a very serious base in Nigeria, and they oversee the growing Pan-Africanism in the Sahel region of the Ibrahim Traore's such that they can reintroduce, create choreograph and create a situation whereby, if possible, they remove regimes in Niger, regimes in Mali, such that they restore the old sycophants who do not understand what it means to be totally independent, and they go back and capture the so-called trade and extraction, bring back their companies to mine the lithium and other rare earth minerals, and take it the way they used to take it back to France, who is their cousin, rooting, just also bankrupt and make the Nigerians poor, because they do not believe that an African is entitled to an independent mind and prosperity.
Thank you so much, Comrade Daniel Garama Kauchiko, for this lengthy submission, but very insightful. I come back to you, Professor Alenyo George William, on the same topic. How do you describe the notion that for all along Nigeria, a sovereign country, does not have the capabilities to train its own soldiers, to repel its own enemies within and outside Nigeria? But America has come to train you, skill you, then they give you your country for you to rule. How do you even think about that?
What I want to say, I want to agree with Comrade Garama. And he's pinpoint and right. 2026, if we are to go forward, we must begin to tell the truth. The world, the Western world must know that the spirit of knowledge has been poured into Africa. And we know what they are doing. We know that they are the ones creating these rebel groups. Nigerians all know that Boko Haram was actually trained by the West. There is a video which was circulating, that they found some white people in helicopters giving backup to Boko Haram. In Afghanistan, as he rightly said, Commander Massoud was trained by them. Al-Qaeda was trained by them. Now, they train these rebel groups, they put them there.
They even give you money.
Yes, they give them money. Even Al-Shabaab, they give them money. You see, they know you are poor, they say, get some dollars, support yourself. Even Hamas, as they say. So after they have trained you, they now come to the government. Say, for us, we can fight these rebels.
You see this perfecting you?
Yes, we can fight
We
them.
can help you to...
And they will give you a demonstration.
Hey!
Yes, they will give you a demo.
They say, let's first come and
Let's
fight.
first come and try. What do you want to do? We want to eliminate the leader. And they will, boom, eliminate the leader. Why? Because the leader is theirs. They have a phone they have given this leader. The leader doesn't know that they are tracking him. And they tell you that we can kill that rebel group leader in minutes.
And all that professor is saying, just to produce his point, can always be found. We are not here making wild allegations.
Yeah.
Can always be found in the classified CIA intelligence reports.
Exactly.
You can't read them.
So they will come and tell you that we can eliminate the leader. And they will eliminate him. And you will be very impressed. That
Meanwhile, they have a plan to groom another one.
They will groom another.
No, there is no
But
reason there. They are
They-
not four in succession.
They will come. They are after your money. National money.
The resources.
The resources. I was a student in Britain. The day I arrived in Britain, the IRA was still operating. The day I landed at Gatwick Airport as a student, that is it. There was a bomb planted by IRA. We had to scatter, run. So, who was doing that? The international mafia. They ran the IRA, and then they were getting money from the British government. We shall fight for you under IRA. You know? Until the British intelligence started to discover that this IRA is being supported by some. they kept that hope until it was not sustainable. Because every Irish leader, president would be an Irish. You look at all the presidents up to about Clinton and Bob Biden was the last American president with an Irish root. So the IRA war was a war to lick Britain. Okay? Now, they went to Afghanistan. They created the Taliban. And the American government, there was a game. The Pentagon knew where Bin Laden was. It was like a cash cow. Don't arrest him. Then comes this strange African, Obama. They failed to put him into the core of the white game. Then he pushed an order. I want to eliminate that Bin Laden. And he eliminates Bin Laden very easily because he is not a core conspirator of a Saxon white person.
He's not one of the 100.
Exactly.
There is such a book as the conspiracy of the 100.
Exactly.
We need to read it.
Yes, and that's why you find that when Bin Laden was finally discovered, he was found near a garrison of the Pakistani army. Where was hiding? So even here, they have created the LRA.
In Uganda.
In Uganda.
Lord Resistance
Exactly.
Army. By Joseph Kony.
Yes, that's their game. They come to the Uganda government, we can eliminate Kony for you.
I just want to give you information there, just a little bit. And that's where you may have all your differences, all your misgivings about Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, but credit him for that ideological clarity.
Yeah.
The way he
What has he
eliminated,
done now?
I'm coming. The way he eliminated Kony and his bandits without using the technology provided by the white man is something more phenomenal.
Now let me give you more information.
I don't agree with you.
No, let me give you information, then you decide.
Yes.
Let me give you information. This topic is about 200 special forces to go and hunt down Boko Haram.
And train Nigerian.
Yes.
Actually, they are sent to train.
To train Nigerian army in the hunting of Boko Haram.
Hey.
It's not new. The Bible says what is happening has ever happened. Did you forget that Obama sent 100 special troops to go and hunt Kony in yes. And that's where yes, and that's where Comrade Rugarama, you are 100% right. Do you know what happened? All of them were killed.
The Pan-African Pyramid Weekly Round Table, or Weekly Roundup, with their speaker, Emperor Irumba Katusale.
Free your mind now. Be part of the People's Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.